All right. Good morning. Good morning. How's everybody doing today? It is the 19th, streaming late into December. All right. So let's just dive into things. Wow. We got the data from the BOJ, if you guys hadn't seen it. And it was, I would love to say it was just weak, but man, was it weak. They're getting kind of blasted on it too. Many different comments in here. Yeah, it's funny. We're not going to hesitate. We're going to continue easing. We expect to hit it sometime in 2025, and we're still not in a situation, right? I mean, I love this one. There's little chance for us to say we will change policy next month. It's like, wow, wow. Tell me you're going to stay with that policy, right? It says a decision yeah. Basically, everybody was expecting. I mean, there was some hints that there would be something a little bit stronger coming in, but guess what? Nope, not even remotely close. Maybe there was an alien abduction, and somebody else made those comments about it being strong. But yeah, and again, because of it, we're seeing the dollar yen 138, and then pound yen over here. Pound yen again, we're seeing a little bit of retracement from the pound from yesterday. Pound strength here, 275. Again, that's why this pair is called what it is. It can have some major, big movement very, very quickly. So yeah. Yeah, so much for that pound strength or that yen strength coming back into the market. Man, super weird. And some of the comments are funny. If you want to see some funny comments, go to Forex Factory, click on some of these over here. Someone's like, "Oh, hawkish, but at the wrong time." And the guy's like, "Are you insane? What?" So yeah. Hmm. On the other side, this morning, with Canada. So interesting day in Canada. The common CPI, and again, they have commentary median. They have all different names for it everywhere else. Actually showing a little bit lower than expected, right? 3.9. But if you look at the trimmed, right, and the trimmed is excluding the most volatile 40% of items, kind of like our core versus our just regular. It actually held, as well as the median, right? The median, right? This is the median price of all goods and services. Also higher than expected, didn't drop. And on a monthly basis, the CPI went higher. Okay. So it's interesting. A lot of people are talking, and again, a number of different articles out this morning about the Fed, and they're like, it's way too soon to start talking about marches, and everyone's like, oh yeah, they're going to cut it, and Powell even said the market's ahead of where our beliefs are at this point. I mean, they can't be any more clear, and this is something that a lot of countries are talking about is stopping the raises and starting to focus on cutting before they've actually had it controlled. And right now, is it controlled right now? No. And here's the crazy part. Here's the CPI on a monthly basis, also ticking higher. It's supposed to be negative. And we said, hey, listen, we'd like to see some negative numbers in here. And it's not negative. It's positive yet again. And this is the CPI. This is not even like the core stuff. One of the biggest things we know why it was coming down was because of fuel prices, right? Well, we know that, in the last couple of days, oil is not as low and cheap as it was, right? I mean, I got gas for $2.88 the other day, and it's back up to $3.18. Right? It's like a 30 cent, 30 cent difference there. So that's not what we want. Nobody wants that. So yeah. Yeah, so that's where we're at. Barkin speaking at 9:30. So again, we'll start to get some headlines coming out of that one, and then really nothing for the rest of the day. We have some Chinese data later tonight, New Zealand, and that's it. All it's out. It's all Canadian-based data today, and you're seeing the dollar CAD down, and you're like, well, why is it negative? Well, because this is all positive digits. It's not like they're raising again, but it may take them a little bit farther away from when they're actually going to start cutting, and that's as we mentioned, that's all anybody cares about right now, right? When are you going to start cutting? When are you going to make it cheaper? When is it going to be easy? I mean, we're at like crazy levels on everything in the stock market. Obviously, the restrictive fund rate has not hurt the stock markets at all, right? Yeah. So and interestingly enough, you had the Bitcoin person out this morning, like, yeah, when you're talking about cutting everything like that, the Fed has no idea what they're doing. Go to Bitcoin. So yeah, we'll see. So, ooh, that's hot. Ooh, I refilled my coffee right before we got started today, and whew, that's hot. Tomorrow, early morning, we have some CPI data for the pound. Now, expected to be lower. Expected to be 4.3, still not at 2. And again, that's what they're shooting for, is kind of that 2%. So still over double, moving in the right direction. We've been getting a ton of strength in here. What happens if this is only a 4.4 or a 4.5? Yeah, it's less than it was, but it's not as good as what they thought. I think that's where the big contagion is. If it comes in at 3.2, maybe it's a little bit lower, but let's not get too crazy here, right? That'll be a decent one. Then obviously, consumer confidence is whether people are spending. I did actually see an article yesterday that said people are actually slowing down their spending, but there's a big caveat on this one. We said right now we've been able to drive through this because the spender is still spending. What they said is people were tightening up their wallets, but it was buy now, pay later, right? I forget what that company is called, but they said that their stock prices it's doing amazing because a lot of people are doing that. Buy now, pay laters, which is, again, reminiscent of the old, the housing crisis, right? Don't worry about it if you have the money. Buy it now. It'll be worth $30,000 more in 2 weeks, right? Buy it and just put it right back on the market and sell it for more. Somebody will be guaranteed to buy, right? So that's kind of what we're seeing is a lot of buy now, pay later. So the spender is still spending, but now they're spending with money they don't have. So, not typically what we want to see. But again, that's the American dream, right? I'm going to buy it now. I'm going to pay for it another time. Magically, it'll get paid for. So, yeah. So consumer confidence, that'll be a big one. We'll see how the holiday season goes. That's the next 24 hours. VIX, really not much different. We were sitting right here yesterday. We're basically at the same spot, right around that 1250, right? And again, lower volume, most big hedge funds and things like that, they are done. These guys are not working. They lock everything in the first week of December and then they are out, right? So we're not seeing as much drama here. The dollar, and down a smidge, right? Down a smidge from here. 7 o'clock, you can see it push down. And we were really kind of trying to see if we could get off. And from yesterday, we did. That was a takeoff point, but it came up and found those same sellers and then just really kind of went sideways. Again, not enough driving factors yesterday. And you can see the 102.50 was really kind of the median point here between the high and low swings. And then this morning, obviously, we did push back down. And, you may say, well, what this morning, what 7 o'clock this morning, what happened? Not much. Not much. Just a little bit of the overnight stuff. Looking at the yen and here you go. Barkin's starting to speak now. Inflation continues to be Fed's focus. Absolutely. Inflation data has been going in the right direction. Yeah, I agree. It's going down. We're making good progress. I think so. Time to balance focus on the Fed's mandate. I guess. I don't know. Inflation is part of the Fed's mandate, and the employment situation on the other side is also part of their mandate, which is also pretty good. So I didn't want to do that. So yeah, nothing yet. We'll see. Go ahead, Barkin. But right now, again, just acknowledging that, continuing to push down a little bit, and I don't think that's bad. Again, I think that the 102.50 is obviously going to be a big area, and if you look back down, the 102 area is going to have buyers down there too. So if we push down, we may actually start to form a new level, bouncing back and forth, and I think that's fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with that right now. But overall, how's the market taking it? The fact that they're acknowledging that, hey, we're moving in the right direction, things are looking good. Right now, all the indices like it. Look at the Russell. Up 1.6%, 2038. Nice little pop there. That's pretty good. We got ES. I don't want to say flirting because we're still like 200 points away, but we're getting close to that 5,000 mark. Look at it. Look at NQ. Sitting right there at 17,000. It's a big number as well. And then again, YM, we could have a decent day. Excuse me, decent day, get the 38,000. So we're good. We're a good pot. We're good spots. That's why it cracks me up. They're like, oh, we're gonna have to cut. Yep, we're gonna cut. We're gonna cut. Even articles up top, right? The Fed's done the impossible. Where is it? I just saw it. The Fed may have done the impossible, avoid a recession. So we're jacking these rates all over the place, and nothing's happening, right? So again, the end of the world is not here as far as the economy goes. But overall, dollar pushing down, indices up. Overall, crude 73.66 is much better than 74.55, but it is up green from yesterday. So obviously, there's a pullback. Natural gas down 3%. Big mover on the board, down 240, down at 242. Again, much better than that 260 mark. Gold and silver both popped. Again, people have really taken this weakness, this dollar weakness to heart right now. And you're seeing both of them kind of jump. 2037, definitely high. And we're back over 24 again in silver. You're also seeing crypto here. It had a little bit of a bounce. It's up at 42. Right, 42.60. I'm not going to be covering Bitcoin. I still don't care. I'm still in the Jamie Dimon camp. There's a guy on this morning who's like, that's to everybody. It's up 100% this year because of inflation, that people are going to try to use it for a hedge for inflation. I still think once everything gets figured out, again, there's still enough people out there that says, hey, it's being used for illegal transactions. And the guy's like, yeah, that was kind of overblown. Yeah, there's some illegal transactions that it's being used with, but for the most part, it's still, the fiat currency that they're doing illegal transactions with. That's the transaction we know about. We know that there are other countries that are trying to bypass the standardized system. It's not a standard, there is no standardized system. It's kind of like it's like a free for all for the most part. And other countries have said we're going to use it to bypass dollar restrictions. So, when other countries have boldly said it, that they're going to do it, it's funny that they are saying that. And I don't know if you guys saw it yesterday, Tether. Remember that name from way back when, Tether? You guys remember that? Tether actually yesterday said that they are working with the FBI, the DOJ, and I don't know if it's the ATF, and they closed down $423 million worth, or they froze assets on 432,000 accounts. Like, I thought that was the whole point. People wanted that because they wanted anonymity. They didn't want the government being able to, look at their funds as easy. Now they're working with all the the government branches to, hey, you know what? We don't like you. You can close all your accounts down. So, yeah, it's kind of funny. Go here. The government doesn't control it. They can't see it. Anonymity, right? Protection. And then meanwhile, bam, close all those accounts down. Okay. So yeah, that's what we're dealing with over there. But indices up a little bit, obviously. I'm sorry. Indices are up. Commodities up a little bit, minus natural gas. And again, it's probably because of yesterday. It was all that hope. Maybe. Wait, what's it today? Just pre-market. We talked about it kind of coming down, crashing through that 250. And that's exactly what it did. Remember yesterday, it was up because of hope. People were hoping it was going to be a colder January, which is absolutely hysterical, right? We're hoping. Here's the hoping. Let's jack the price because we're hoping it gets colder, right? So I don't know. Maybe we made too much fun of the market. Overall, here we go. This is what we got with the Aussie. We talked about a level we had to chop through, and again, look at this. Punch. Sunday happened. Punched up again, and then started the base. You're like, uh-oh. And it did. It finally broke through. So again, it finally, I don't even know how many hits did it take to go through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then a base. Almost 10 hits to finally break through that level, and it was from a higher time frame, and we finally cleared it. So that's awesome. It's nice that we finally have chunked all the way through this. That's great. Now it gives us some clear sailing. We can actually take this off. I'm not going to use it for like a Harry Potter or anything. Right now, the 50% level is still a decent level where we can look for that for potential, again, profit targets and things like that. And it's not the worst takeoff point now that we're finally extending across. If we can get the 61.8 in there, that would be even better. I'd actually like the Harry Potter on that one too. But right now, we know that we don't really have, and I think I can say it, yeah. You guys can see we don't really have much until we come up here to 61.18. We're more or less in a racetrack, obviously, to the top side. There's no wicks on the top. There is a little bit of basing here at right at 68. So you would expect to see that one. We're still about 40 pips from there, but right now, again, I think I would like to see this going to continue to push higher. There could be an argument made that, listen, we were not trending in here, and then we could draw fibs from here. And again, that you would not be wrong. That would be more kind of an intraday type drawing on this one to see kind of where we push. Because again, is there any trend here? No. Yeah, obviously it's lower here, but when this started to push back down again, you're like, wasn't really sure. We've just finally started to break out. If we can push up to here, there's some interesting levels. You can see the 78.6 is a decent level. I'm curious to see if we'll start getting a base in here. But overall, is Australia in a better situation than the United States? No, everybody knows that. So I'd like to see this one continue to push higher. Right now, I'm looking for a top. I know that I don't, on a technical basis, I don't have any tops over here, but I'm looking for some type of a top in a reversal pattern. Some type of and again, no red, green, red here, right? None here. There's a whole lot of drama in here, not seeing one. But something along this. I'm looking for this pattern. Here, perfect example. I'm looking for this pattern right here. A red, green, red close, and then I'm actually looking for a pullback on it. So I'm looking for one. I don't have it yet. This is one of those ones. If you want to come check on this one every 30 minutes, great. Come check on it. Look at it. But right now, not willing to take anything. Again, big push up in price. I'm expecting we'll reverse sometime this morning. Aussie yen. Funny that this just happened to say, hey, we're like, hey, listen, there's an area here. We spiked up to this one late last night. Why? Obviously the BOJ stuff. Came back around, went back to the origin of the move, and then punched higher. So no problem with that one. That's fine. That's kind of what we expected. Let's take this one off. We don't need this one now. We cycled through that. Let's pull that off. I'll pull that one off now too. Let me see. So right now, you can see right here, we are at a 78. So this is kind of what we're dealing with right now. Again, you can see there's a test there. Again, I'm not adding a +1 for the 78.6, but that's kind of what we're dealing with. Gets a little choppy in here. Problem is, look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 hits in there, so I'm not interested in that zone. This one has a touch, which is okay. There's not really any touches. There's another little level coming up top, but we're basically at the top of that curve again. There is this, obviously, this chopping sawtooth, which I do like. I like that better than here. I'll actually take that one off. Those are really the two reversal levels. And we've already kind of pushed off this one once. Did the right thing by grabbing it here. $75. Ugh. Yeah, I mean, $130. I kind of like that one better. So this is not a bad shorting area. Honestly, that's not a bad spot to take shorts out of, right? Now, again, we're not quite at a reversal time frame yet, but at the same time, I actually do kind of like the base sitting here. And I'm wondering if we pull the trigger when this one breaks below. Like I said, I don't know when it's going to go through, but potentially right there. There's a decent spot. Again, there's a base. It came down. It actually broke a little bit lower. It would give us a little bit more confirmation that we are reversing back from this level. And we've hit once, pulled back down, but it grabbed the buyers. It was looking for more people. So it got the help, and it's punching higher. Kind of wondering if this is what we look at for this one. And again, we know why this is bad because the BOJ is like, we're not changing anything. And everybody was hoping they changed. But again, the policy is what it is, right? Yeah, I'd like to get a reversal in here somewhere. Again, we're not at a bad spot right now either. We've surged back up again from like that 8:30 window up. So yeah, this could be running out of steam now. I'm sure a little closer to 10:30. Yeah, I'd like to get short up here. I think we got some. I think up here there's something. And again, overall, if you're getting short, make sure you get out here. It's going to have to be where your profit is taken out. Right. Looking at that level. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely an area. It's been there. Looking for that confirmation entry push back to the downside. Euro dollar. All right, so euro dollar. So euro dollar. We were looking at a potential area at the 6.18. Well, I was hoping for more movement yesterday, and all this did was really just kind of grind forward. And then at 7:30 this morning, we got that nice little spike up, and we're kind of shooting back again. So again, was not a good trade if you're taking it this morning. If anything, you got stopped out on it. Great, no harm to fill. That happens. We can take it off now, knowing that, hey, listen, it did pull back a little bit, but it's going to continue to push higher. So right now, we're really looking for this to push all the way back up to 110. There's nothing in here. Maybe there's a little front run, but for the most part, how much room do we got to run on this one? 20 pips. It's got a 27 4-hour ATR. So look for this one to push up, see if we can get a confirmation pattern, and look for a roll back down from 110. But that's really what I'm looking for right now. And there's nothing in here that I really like. I don't care. We're at the 78, so we can remove the 78. You can actually reverse this if you want and go from the bottom side and say, okay, we got anything right now? No, you can see the 23 has some, the 50 has some, the 61.8. But if it pushes all the way up, I think it becomes a better scenario. And then we look for this kind of confirmation here. So kind of cheering for 61. I'm sorry, I'm kind of cheering for 110 to bounce off that level, because then the 61.8 down here becomes a base, a pullback, and a nice kind of big push. Looking for this for a potential trade in the future. I kind of like that area. Right in there. Okay. Right there. Right, something along those lines. Whoops, hold on, I just closed it. Did it again. Sorry. Sometimes when I click on this button, one button, it takes this and like moves it. Okay. Oh, there we go. All right. Yeah, I click off this screen Like I go to click on something else and then it minimizes everything. I can't see anything. But yeah, overall, I like that 119.34.5. I think it's a decent level. Obviously, it makes a lot more sense when it comes all the way back up again. So again, doing a little bit of forecasting for fibs. Not a bad little spot up top. But again, looking for a roll off 110, coming back down, and then obviously profit target first, and then reversal point. Okay. Euro pound. Look at this ugly, right? So yesterday at noon, we talked about this level being up top. Yesterday at noon, it tagged that level and then gave us a red, green, red. And this actually did give us a red, green, red with a pullback, right? There's your red, green, red right there. And actually, it pulled back twice. I would have drawn it there. Hit there, or there's a hit here. This one right here was a better hit if you had done it from here. The reason why this is a better hit is this hit here was about 5:30 in the afternoon. Neither market is open, right? EU and UK all closed. Here, this is 3 o'clock in the morning. This is the European Open. So again, using that red, green, red confirmation of the downtrend and then pulling back opening print here. Love that. That's great. Now, what do we got? This. Down, up, down, up, down. So we're basically trending sideways again. We're kind of sitting in the middle of the curve. We know that this level up top right around the 50 and then the 85.46 to the downside. We're kind of sitting in the middle. So not really much room to run on this one. Market closes in 2 hours. We do have the inflation data tomorrow, though. Consumer confidence and inflation. It's weird. It's not showing the euro data. Whoops. Do I have everything clicked? I have everything clicked. Huh. It's weird. It's showing pound, but it's not showing. Whoops. Yeah, it's not showing this consumer confidence. Oh, well. Well, we know we have 2 things tomorrow morning early on. So we'll see. Right now, it's not really giving us a telltale sign one way or the other. It's chopping back and forth. We'll have to see where we kind of project to, right? Are we going to push up higher before this news? Right? Or are we going to push lower for this news? Right? And I think those are the 2 big keys. Could there be a case made here? Sure. There could be a small case made right here for news. But right now, we're kind of floating in the middle between 2 areas of buyers and sellers. Again, confirmed here. So again, we're right at that 50% mark. So probably a news trade early morning. Euro yen, any surprise? No. So euro yen, it did push back down again. And then late last night, we talked about this one rolling back again. We were actually hitting that area right at 10 o'clock. It did. It rolled all the way back down. Again, very, very choppy. It found the buyers. And then late last night, it came in. So this one was pretty much dead on. Again, we threw this. We Harry Pottered through this. We came back down to the we parabolic move up, came up, and then we went right back down to the origin of the move, and then continued to go higher. So some good things on this one. A lot of movement. And again, our first draw was the right one on that one. We can take a lot of these off now. We can leave that one there. Actually, hold on. Don't have the confirmation in yet. And again, remember, anything around this 158 number is always going to be jumbled a little bit. There's a little base there. How much is that? That may be too much. It's 30. It's a little bit too much. $231. 24. So not bad. Yeah, it's 24. Plenty of room. So what we need to see, obviously, we like it to base a little bit more. We like it to push down. We come back up, and then we look to push down. I think 2 profit targets on this one. Stick one right here. And then second one, put right there. Wow, that's huge. I don't want that big. I think there's profit target 1. Oh, could I not grab it? There we go. And profit target 2. So those are 2 levels I think we take. Again, we got to see this pattern. It may happen here. It may happen here. It may happen over here. but we're looking for some type of reversal back again. Just don't know where it's going to go. But look for the base, drop, pull back, and go. Again, the 158 is going to act as a magnet, so we kind of need to pull away from a little bit. But right now, racetrack here, clearing candle here, all the way down in the move. 2 profit targets to the downside. I think both of them are pretty decent. Okay. Pound dollar. All right, so pound dollar. We marked this level off yesterday, and you can see what happened right here. Right, 530. It's, oh god, it's basing. It's basing right before the level and forming kind of a little bit of sawtooth. You're like, oh man. And that's what it did. Again, fight, boom, burst through. So we could take it off now. I don't even necessarily because it's basing on. I don't want to use it as the Harry Potter. I like the zone. It provided some opportunity. And again, once it started the base here, the reality is here's 1, there's 2, there's 3 pushes, and it went through. So it was in the middle. It wasn't the strongest of levels. Right now, we do have a level. We're sitting a little bit high. It's been here before. It's not fresh, right? It actually drove pretty deep into that zone, but we're looking for some type of a reversal point. Pretty much this morning, there's the European Open, right? So from European Open till now, we're at about 108 pips. It's got a 97 pip daily ATR, so we're beyond what normal is. Is the pound super, super strong today and the dollar's collapsing? Is the dollar super weak? Not really. Again, I feel like this is just the market kind of manipulating it around right now. Overall, we do know that we have pound data coming in tomorrow. And again, maybe this comes in as a 4.3 and this thing just tanks. So we're kind of there more right now. Are we at a great level? Do we want to draw something? Not really. Is having the green candle like this best case scenario for drawing this one? Yeah, I would say so. It's not bad, right? I tend to like, it's fine. It's fine. It kind of messes up a red, green, red, but I think there's a confirmation due to come back in here. I like this one more to the downside too. I think we have some issues with here. But overall, we just need this one to kind of, again, lack of any real big data today, I think is the problem, right? Overall, I like to see this push lower. Okay. I don't know who that is. I love getting random phone calls. Like you get, I'm sure everybody else gets them too, right? You get that random phone call and you're like, oh, that's kind of like my phone number, but it's not my phone number, right? Oh, there you go. You type it in real quick and you're like, oh, you know what? That is a robocall, even though it's right down the street, right? Robocall, don't answer it. So yeah, good thing that I didn't answer it. Oh, it's a service. I'm like, what? Block this robocall and over 8 million more with no more robocall. Love the ads. So anyway, I think we're due for a pushback to the downside. Do we have a great level here? No. Obviously, there was the red, green, red confirmation up top, went just a little bit higher. Kind of needs some news catalyst for this one. So overall, I do think that this will be a mover for the pound on a year-over-year basis. And if it comes in at 4.4, I do think that is also pound weakness. I think the calls on this one is 4.4. It's short, right? Because it's acknowledging that it is definitely moving in the right direction. If it comes in as a 4.3 or a 4.2, it's a massive move into the downside. If it comes in as a 4.5, technically it missed by a little bit, but I don't think the pound's raising. I think that just, again, maybe that halts a little bit of what they're doing, but I don't think it changes too much. If it comes in as a 4.6, then we may be talking. But I think right now, of the 3 scenarios, if it comes as expected, it's weak. If it goes more, it's weak. And the only other option is if it holds, if it didn't drop at all, which, I mean, I guess technically a lot of forecasts on CPI have been that way. But I think overall this is going to be a weak call for the pound. Pound yen. Pound yen surge. And again, we know why. It looks the same. We were sitting down here. We talked about where it would be. We mentioned, again, loading up beforehand. We mentioned that there was 2 levels here, and it kind of loaded up and then held before news, shot right back up. The 181.68, based around, and then straight back down again before coming back up again. So this was actually, I mean, even the spike, pretty crazy. 123 pips down. So the loading up down here was quite a big one. You may not have caught that one, but again, looking for a retracement back again. I mean, it just blew through it with news in the other direction. So still waiting for a base. I love the fact that this hit again, right? There's 1, there's 2, there's 3. Kind of a front run. Still looking for a base on this one. And we can kind of leave both those on there right now, right? It'll be there eventually. We'll just leave that there as well. So clear some of these off. Now, this top section did get blown up. Again, the data was too strong. It was all right. I mean, again, the 786, remember, I don't +1 that one. There was a base and there was a touch. It just, unfortunately, something like that type of yen data was just too much. So, right now, it is kind of, it's punched through. So let's take this off. I don't, there is a little bit of red in there. Thing is with this one, it's got 160 pips down. It's kind of like the other one where we talk about, hey, listen, if you're going to get a reversal on this one, you kind of want to play it to there and then there. Whoops. Those are kind of the two levels of where we're looking for profit. It does have a red, green, red that's already been put in. Not the cleanest, but it was okay. I almost kind of wanted to take one more bounce back and then fall. But I have a feeling with the yen right now. And again, this is so far. That's a 2 o'clock candle. Yeah, we're up 376. It's double. It's double right now. It's double in ATR, so it should push back down again. I have a feeling though it's probably already left the station. If we can get this, I like it much better. I like that much better, but I don't know that this is going to hold. I'm afraid it's already pushed through enough, and it created enough of a top in here. And again, this is a pretty decent top. Front run just a little tad, but not surprised because it was so overextended. I think this one's pushing down. I think we're looking for 182. 116 pips, but again, this one has the ability to move it. So yeah, looking for that. Dollar CAD. All right, any surprise Dollar CAD's moving this morning? Nope, not really. Again, we talked about 134 yesterday. You can see yesterday at 10:30. Guess what we did? We hit 134 again. We knew that was going to be an issue, and then what did it do? It did nothing. It flatlined. flat, and then we started to accelerate, and the data came out. And again, it was good CAD data. Can't say anything about it. It was great CAD data. There was the one adjustment forward, but overall, Canada is not as weak, right? The data was not as weak. Again, oil not helping it necessarily today, but overall, you can't be upset with that data. I think that data was good. I think this is doing this right thing. Where does it go? I really think we're targeting, and we talked about this in the past as well. We're playing with a lot in here, right? There's a zone right below where we are, but it's been pushed to the brink already. It's actually, it hasn't peeked its head through, but it basically mirror bottom. And then right after that, there's a little bit of a hiccup. So really, I think we're targeting this level at 133. I think the dollar CAD's been so challenging. It is pushing down, but I think what we want to see on this one is I think we want to see it come down base somewhere in here, and then maybe something along these lines, right? We chop back and forth and go. But besides that, right now, there's not much else we can do with it, right? Kind of sit in the middle. There's kind of a zone there, but it's not really the best of zones. It's already been broken. Obviously, there'll be some leftover residual there, but it's not the best, unfortunately. So yeah, it's where you're stuck at. Dollar Swiss. Okay, we were looking for here. Unfortunately, it just maintained and held. I thought both of these were good. This was the Friday, and then this was the Monday. Both of them ended up pushing higher. It super chopped in. You can see when the news kind of came out, it kind of pulled up a little bit and then kind of pushed down. Overall, again, I think we're still kind of in the same realm. And actually, I'm actually going to throw a smaller one into here. Yeah, there is one right there. That's what I was warning. You can see, look, basing here at the 50, and then there's this little hiccup right here. Okay. I'm wondering if this will be kind of a little bit of a 23.6 hangover to there, right? And it's like an 8 for 25, 8 for 26, something along those lines. Because people will draw it, right? Again, uptrend here, right? Higher highs, higher lows, uptrend. Here's where the downtrend started. So if you drew the new fib, It's just past the 23, but it's a drop, pull back base, and then big punch down. So there'll probably be some sellers in there. So it's fine. Yeah, overall, I think this actually belongs to be a bit higher. But it just, you can see how kind of grindy, choppy it was, just because no one's looking at it right now. It's not a main pair. Dollar yen. So dollar yen, you can see we loaded up. Again, we hit this zone yesterday at about 10:30, and we pulled back. We knew that this was a bit dangerous. Why? Because we had basing right here, and that's what it did. It kind of came. I mean, literally, yeah, it came back down again. But what did it do? Oops, I could have just used that. Ran right into all these buyers. All this basing is what it did. Now that's where the news kind of took off, right? And this one did the same thing, right? Remove that level. You guys can see it rolled off of it. I don't need to use it again. Kind of came over, we held, maintain, and then boom, all the way back down to the origin of the move. So kind of the same Harry Potters that we've seen on many of the yen pairs. What did it go off of? I'll just extend this across. The level that we had drawn back over here, the base here, guess what? It kind of Harry Potter on this side. And again, it's 145. We knew 145 was going to be a big deal. So is the yen suddenly super strong right now based off of any of the comments? Nope. Nope. But again, so much movement beyond what normal was from the spike down on up. It was 250 pips. It's got a 162 daily ATR. So seeing this one pull back again, not really surprised. It's already down to 84 pips. There's nothing over here slowing it down, unfortunately. There was a little bit of a, again, there was the push down and then the pull back up, and it was at a level of basing. So again, you could have tried to play that if you really wanted to. You also had the red, green, red, right? We also had the confirmation from the zone, the red, the green, and the red close right there. Right? You also had that confirmation coming in. And again, it still kind of gave you a pullback. Didn't touch it, though, unfortunately. But you had that as well. Now, a little bit dangerous because you had this here, but for the most part, not necessarily a bad area. This little hiccup here, while definitely important, 145 is quite a powerful number. Not as powerful as 150 or 140, but 145 is pretty powerful, much more powerful than 146. So again, after that big of a burst up, it's definitely going to have sellers, and we knew those sellers existed before. Again, when this pushed, it went through before, but again, old becomes new, and that's what they were looking for. So nice push. If you're not in it, it's a little bit too late. Again, kind of the same things. I think if you are in it, I think profit taking there and probably there is what you're looking for. Those would be the two levels where I can see potential reversals coming in, and you kind of want to take yourself out a little bit earlier. Okay. All right. Yeah, a little bit late to do anything with it now. The reversal was down here, that 5:30 time frame in the 145. Not much else to say about that one, unfortunately. All right, so the old gold or cold oil. So oil spike yesterday, 10 o'clock was the high, and we talked about that before, the 74.65. So it hit it, and then we rolled all the way back down again. And again, 72.80 is not bad. We're back in the 73 mark. Now there is selling and going on in here. You can see this drop and then the chop back and forth and basing down. If you go from high to low, yeah, it's at the 61.80 level. So not surprising that it turned here. My opinion on this one doesn't change much. I think we're probably in the basing level. Fundamentally, I think it's a bit high right now. But with the geopolitical risk of, again, I guess with Israel shot missiles into Syria today, into war camps, or I don't know. I guess missiles came from Syria, but now, Israel is, I guess directly attacking Syria. I don't know. I feel like it's still a powder keg ready to go. Yeah, it's still there. I think eventually people, I don't know. I feel like it's like poking the bear at this point, right? I don't know. It just takes one mistake and then thing goes crazy. So I just be cautious of this one. Fundamentally, I think we are a little bit high. I think I'm a little bit more bearish where oil is, but I am definitely a little bit risk averse with this one right now because of everything that's happening. I think it's a kind of a rough week as far as where we could go with oil. But again, less volume. This one has the ability to spike all around. We need one headline and this thing goes insane. So again, just use caution with it. Am I surprised that it's turning here? No. Again, the push from this morning from 3 o'clock was up, and then profit taking is coming in at 9:30, and we're pushing back down again. But is there anything really? I mean, if you do a base here to here, I'll just drag it down. I know it's not from here, but from here to here, the 50 obviously doesn't change. See how we're skirting around that 50 and we're kind of pumping up? Again, the 786, 23.6 is kind of the equivalent on both sides. So, kind of in those same levels. We're just kind of forming a new base in oil is really what we're kind of forming right now. So again, no main driving forces. Maybe for inventory tomorrow. Again, API report comes out tonight, inventory tomorrow. So we'll see. Natural gas continued to deteriorate. We said this yesterday. We had pushed. We're sitting here and we're like, we just need one more push. We need one more push. We did. We got one more push. It didn't actually touch the black line, but it did actually go higher. It's what we're kind of looking for. And then it collapsed. Here's your level of basing, and we collapsed down again. And this was kind of an old level. Again, it's hit it here, and hit it here. So natural gas doing what we expected it to do. Again, 4.3% is big down. Remember yesterday it was up 3.5%. Why? Because people were hoping that it was going to be colder in January. Again, maybe when they realized what they were saying, it led to the big reversal. But yesterday was, there's Friday, here's Sunday. Big day up, big day back down again, and we're sitting where we were Friday morning. So I think this is the right call. Again, fundamentally, it's great, which is hysterical because this is taking this big drop down. And you know what they talked about all morning when I was dropping Asher off at the bus? Was natural gas and about how, United States, leading with natural gas and, the auto industry, we're going to switch it to natural gas. And they're basically talking about, they're like, no, they're like, you could say that, our next step should be to switch cars to natural gas, but it's like, if they're going electric, why would they? Basically, they said it's an infrastructure problem, right? Do we have natural gas stations that you can fill up your cars all over the place? No. It's the same reason why people don't buy electric cars, because the infrastructure's not there yet. And interestingly enough, they dove into that. They said, hey, listen, right now the EV market, right? Everybody wants to turn the full auto market into an EV market, but they said right now, of all the EV sales, almost all of them were in the luxury versions, right? They're the really high priced ones, right? They said of the non-luxury, of all luxury car sales, 25% were EV. If you take non-luxury car sales, 3% were EV, right? It's just having a 25% higher price tag and a lower infrastructure rate it's not drawing the crowd. So and then they were like, well, let's do natural gas then, and it was kind of the same thing. So natural gas, I still think again, I think we're close to where it should be. You can see right now from the most recent pivot high and low, we're at that 50% mark. The 237 mark, obviously, again, it was a group of sellers and then seller, and then it was buyer, buyer, buyer. It's been here 3 times. We're not looking to take a reversal off of that one. At this point, I think maybe we start bashing through there and we probably find some buyers down here at the 230 mark. So overall, that's fine. Gold taking off. Again, we were looking for a way to get short this one yesterday and we hit it again. And it's like, man, we're starting to form buyer, 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 buyer. We really needed a break, right? We needed this break here and we didn't get it. It just continued to go left, or right. And now we've popped back up again. So overall, we still haven't gotten our good entry in this one. We're still looking for like a red, green, red that we really like. And really none of them. Red, green, red didn't really do it here. And then the green here messed it up. And there's a little red, green, red here. But I mean, unfortunately, this yesterday here, when this one pulled back down again, you had this little pop here at 6:30, and then it's like boom, 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 boom. We sawtoothed it, and really, this became the area right here. So I mean, we said we're looking for this one, but it looks like it's moved itself down. Again, we've gotten a couple more hits off of it, which is great, but it looks like right now, there's your 1 to 304, and you can see it sitting right above. So it looks like, again, we got to chop through those guys. It looks like it's going to be here. It looks like a break of 216.25, somewhere in that area is where the break is coming. So still looking for it, still looking to overtake this, still looking for not only the racetrack as well as the 2000 target. It's just got to get that base and we just don't have it. So if you did go for the higher one, it did pull back again. You did not make a 1 to 3. It's pretty close. But with this punching higher now, we can clean some of this up in here. We can take this one off. Yeah, I got it. It's an old alert. Take that there. We're in an area where we have seen selling coming in. You can see the selling here, and overall this was a drop base with a big kind of hammer to the downside. Is it a great level? Not so much. It's quite large. It's hit it twice. This is hit number 3. But as much strength as we are getting right now, again, technically, Silver should be double what gold is. It should be at 1.6. It's 1.4. I think we're kind of getting high. I think we're kind of getting this a bit too far extended. And again, Powell even said the market is kind of ahead of where the Fed is. We're not quite there yet, and they're getting ahead of themselves. And yeah, that's kind of where we're at. So again, right now, I love shorting gold. I think we're at a range where shorting gold would make sense. It's funny. The Fed's like, we got this all under control, right? And all we're seeing is the the inflation hedges are all gaining ground, right? All gaining ground. So yeah, again, not there yet. If we start getting the correct pattern, could we have a reversal somewhere between 2044 and 2050? Yeah, I think so. But right now, I don't have any signs that it's in there yet. So that, and then again, once we break through 216.30 ish on the bottom, again, look for 2000 as a target. I do think it comes back down there. Silver, again, we talked about getting low and breaking. Did it do it yet? Nope, not yet. Right? I wanted to move this one. I want to move it, but it keeps on. We're still looking for this, right? Spike down, spike back up again is not our entry. And then look, it rode. So I think this 2370 is still good. The important part about this one is we had our 1, we had our 2, we had our 3, 4 peak lower and came back up again, and we maintain that same basing structure. When this one rolls, I still think the 270 is decent. This is actually one that I like better now. I'm going to put it just a little bit lower and throw an alert on there. I do like that one as far as, again, getting us back down in that 2350 range. That's my personal opinion where I think it should be. 2350 is sitting right around here. But this is quite a large bit of movement up. And again, we know we have sellers up top and we're kind of playing with those. So, but 24 obviously mellows the water on this one. So yeah, looking for a reversal. And again, look, you can see silver is having a little bit more problem than gold, maybe a little bit overextended. May get pulled back down magnet wise into the 24 range, but break at 2370, look for this one to go. Dollar's still pushing down. Again, we got our little pop, but again, it just maintained. Unfortunately, it didn't go back up. I was hoping we'd get the gap there. So now looks like we had some room to run to the downside on the dollar. And get a little bit of a pop right at 102. The big question will be what happens at 102 here. VIX obviously deteriorating down. All right, let's see what we got indices wise. Overall, I don't think the indices have any big problems today. You see that's what we hit from yesterday. Monday. Yeah, we kind of just flatlined there. We kind of closed where that line was. So it's funny. I didn't realize we closed right on it. Yeah, 4 o'clock is right there. So we closed right on where I expected us to be. All right, let's see. Overall, there's your 930. So actually, this one did have a pullback, did have a confirmation, but 7 o'clock actually. So draw this one about probably there is the best way to do it. Be right up there. So yeah, I would say this is close enough with the touch. If you go for the actual touch, there's the green touch right here. It is an entry. So let's see. Are we out? Yeah, there's 3.18. So it's out. So there you got to pull back into a level that's formed. Now you may have looked at it this way and said, okay, there's a touch there. But once this one pulled back, you're like, I got to kind of get that basing in there, right? Because you could have said, well, wait a second. There's the touch. Yeah, they're both technically bases in there. And all I did was just I bracketed them both off. That's how I came up with the bigger red area. So, could you have taken this one and done it just off of that level with this touch? Yes, absolutely. This is a 3 o'clock in the morning base, which is absolutely perfect. That's exactly what you want. And then a touch sometime before this came out, 6 o'clock, perfect time to be able to draw those two things. But then you look over here like, oh God, but we pulled back again into a new base. It's like, oh no, there's a new base formed. So it's kind of like, oh, look at the basing in there. So you got to kind of draw it. So that's why I said, if you take the whole thing, just be ultra conservative and say, okay, listen, I'm going to take the whole zone. That's what we need to clear. It did. It cleared the top side. So ES was a good one. Yeah, you guys can see it right here. This one had the same thing. Here was that morning base, and then here was that secondary base coming in, right? There's your confirmation touch off the secondary base, and there's your pop. This one looks very, very similar. And there's 3.02. So you can see we are past as well. Oh, I moved it again. Crap, my bad. It's actually there, sorry. And then again, the green candle is 930. So what happened? You got a nothing at 9, and then 9:15 drove us down to load us up for this trade. And it came across. And again, base, confirmation, you could say either really, but there's your confirmation off the base. So there's 2, right? YM. There's your touch. Now, in all fairness, this one was a little bit different. There's your base and there's your confirmation. Funny that it's basically the same as yesterday, right? This one did not have quite the same pullback. So you may not have gotten into this one. You can see it did pull down. It was in there, and that was really where it took off. This one kind of took off there, right? That's kind of where the big green candle was. It kind of based and kind of hiccuped through there. So could you have drawn it there and been like, yeah, kind of. Here's the clean one. There's the secondary base. I'm not going to add it in, but again, you guys can see it's where it should have taken off, and it did. It blew it. I mean, obviously there's it's like a 1 to 6. Big push. So again, right move, yes. The 9 was here, the 9.15, 2 reds going into an area of basing in the overnight right there. There wasn't necessarily the confirmation. It was just a little bit awkward. It was a little bit off on this one. There's your confirmation, but you have to be able to say, hey, listen, there's a base and there's a big punch off of it. So yeah, I'm not going to put the 1 to 3 on there. You can see it's well past. Okay. And then Russell, right? Russell is the only one that didn't really have an entry. It did not have the overnight basing like everything else did. It kind of did, but it didn't get close, right? You would say that, there's a base in there, but not super clean. Obviously right below it, there's a little bit of a base, and this one had a little bit more of a touch in there, right? And you can see when I do it here, you can see, oh, look, there's another one there. But unfortunately, it also did not go back. It had a 9 and a 9.15. Both of these are red. It was loading up. It was like, yep, we're going long. It just didn't have an entry zone, unfortunately. Had you gotten long, though, I mean, yes, it did spike higher. It did go back up. We had talked about an area up top right here. And again, we talked about red target. You can see we hit it and kind of pulled back at this point. So, I mean, it's kind of did what it's supposed to do, but not really an entry this morning. I know it's up the most. It's like, man, it would have been great to grab that 1.5%. Yeah, I mean, it told us it wanted to go long, but, unfortunately, there wasn't really a great zone to grab. The base here, this base is really only easy to see when I draw this base here, right? And it didn't even hit it. So it was close. I wish it was better, but unfortunately, guys, it just missed by a little bit. So, it is what it is. Sorry. But you can see a nice little turn off the top side. Overall, Russell's in a good spot. I think Russell's the best gauge right now. Again, lower volume. The big business is out right now. Again, obviously, algo traders are still going, but not to the same extent. December is one of those times where you want to kind of lock everything in early. Once hedge funds hit what they want, they lock it in, so there's no risk that they could lose it. People don't get mad if they're not doing all the trading once they've locked in their profits that they're happy with for the year. And overall, great year to do it with. They were able to lock everything in. If it goes up a whole bunch in this month, people are like, no, we locked it in. We wanted to secure your profits in a time of high volatility, which they're not wrong. Russell's everything you need to see right now. The retail trader is still in belief that the Fed's going to start cutting in March. They're like, no, that's it. They're done. We knew it. They haven't been right yet. I guess maybe they were right with not raising this last time, but people were pissed that they did that anyway. So yeah, I don't think they're starting to cut in March. Again, what about our economy right now? It would give us that reason, right? We're at 3.8 unemployment. We still have almost 9 million job openings with like 5 million people looking. So it's still tons. There's 0.7 people per job. So, I mean, we're still a bit off. It's the same it's been for 6 months now. It hasn't changed. It hasn't come down. We're seeing core inflation go up. Indices are obviously in a good place. Why do we need to start cutting interest rates? Why would we jack this all around even more, right? Retail trading, better than expected, right? So people are spending more money. Yeah, but Russell's everything you need to see. Russell, again, think retail trader, just go look at Russell. So that's where we're at. So overall, 2 easy setups for opening print. One that, again, if you would have manipulated just a little bit and looked, yes, absolutely could have been an area where you pulled back to with the last strong push was from there. Awesome trade. And then Russell was the only one that there was absolutely no chance. So again, plenty of opportunity this morning out there in the indices-based trades. All right, with that, let's go over. It is 10:29. I'm not far off today. We will take this to 2:30 because we always like to go to the 2:30 mark, give you guys at least 30 seconds. And we'll let this one roll. I need that music. Oh, I got so much stuff to do today still, right? Oh, and just FYI, I have still not started wrapping presents yet. I think I have all my presents bought, but I haven't started wrapping. I'm like dreading. I'm like procrastinating. It's like the worst part of, yeah. I'm going to basically put bows on all these Amazon boxes because the side of the Amazon box now says to and from. I'm like, yes. Right? All right, here we go. Close it down. 1, bam. All right, winner day's drawing is, look at that. Look at this. We talked about this, Nerd. What happens? You've been beat the last couple days in a row because you didn't use 6. And look what happens. You use 6 and what happens? See? I'm telling you. See what happens when you listen to me? Look at that. Ernest got beat on that one. Ernest, I don't know what happened on that one, man. Statistically, you should have taken that one pretty easily. But there's magic with the 6 number. I'm telling you. There's some magic in that 6 number. Neuro played with 4. He did like a 1 the other day. Right? And if you look at that one, look. Right? Neuro over here, 4. Gets beat. Right? The day before. Right? Neuro did a 3. Gets beat. Right? So see? He listens and then magic he wins. See how that works? I'm just trying to see if there's anything more in here. Hold on. The economy is not as frothy as the data has suggested. I love that. The data says people are spending money. They're not spending money. It's not real. I love that. The economy is not as frothy as the data suggests. Retreat in inflation is remarkable. See signs of weakening in some parts of the consumer economy. Some. Looking for conviction inflation is coming back to target. Oh, so he's not convinced it's coming back yet. It's nutty position given the outlook for economic markets. Are going to do what they're going to do. Exactly. The market doesn't care what the data says. Inflation comes down nicely. Fed will respond. Okay. It's fine. The guy's like, oh, it's sticky. Look for the comments are fun. All right, with that, I'm out of here. I'll catch you guys tomorrow morning, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. Thank you for joining me today, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow morning. Again, not any major news, but again, this CPI for the pound in the overnight, I think, will be a pretty nice mover, especially with the movement we've seen in the pound. This is up 230 today. Could this be down 230 tomorrow? Potentially, or maybe this is a 4.5, and this is up another 200. So we will see. I think it's going to be a big one. Look to see what the market tells us. With that, I'm out of here. I'll see you tomorrow.